I know I'm.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to our New Year's 2024 Warrior Kickoff Party. Woo! I had no idea if there would be like 20 people on or 200. So thank you so much for showing up. And also, I will be putting the replay because this isn't just like a fun check in. We have some really important announcements coming. So I'll make sure the replay goes up. So I also want to say thank you for those of you watching the replay. If you did catch this on replay, comment in the comments so that we know. And I think I just saw in the comments maybe that like Reagan had to hop off early. And like I know Angel also maybe doesn't have very long because I think she's supposed to be at a baby shower right now or something along those lines. So just as much as you can stay, stay. All right, let me kick this. I'm going to look at my notes a little bit, okay? Because there's a lot going on in my brain. I need notes today. January 7th. What's today? The 6th? Yeah. January 7th of 2020, you guys, I promise, was the very first warrior class ever. I was teaching Warrior Rhythm lesson 1 before we revised it. For those of you that know what I mean, I taught it on January 7th of 2020. And so we really are, 4 years heading into this company. So I never could have dreamt of who it would bring into my life, that it would bring you into my life. I didn't know that it would take off like it has. And I am so thankful and I am so like truly, truly humbled by your trust and by your love for the different formats and for the way you care for one another. It is so touching that I not only have a little bit to do with that, but that I started it and that you guys little by little followed. I still do not take it for granted, and I hope, God willing, 10 years from now when we're doing New Year's kickoffs, I hope I'm still saying how thankful I am for each one of you. Our community is still small enough that I really feel like I know everyone still by name. And hopefully someday we'll outgrow that and I won't know all the instructors, but I still feel like I know all of you, especially if you are on social media a little bit. So I wanted to start with my sincere gratitude. And I wanted to tell you that it motivates me. You're what motivate me. Like when people are like, how can you do so many things? And it's because I'm motivated by you and your trust and your excitement over what we're doing. It's thrilling to me. Okay. In this meeting today, just to manage your expectations, like I like to do, we maybe can end in an hour. That is my goal. My goal is to get you in and out of this meeting in an hour. It might be more like 75 minutes. It kind of depends. All right. So, because I'm not the only one talking, so I can't totally control completely the flow of things. But we are going to start with some recognition. And then I'm going to do some announcements about each brand that we have. And then I want to do some general announcements that apply to all the brands, is what I meant to say. Some universal announcements that apply to all our formats. And then I want to get specific toward the end of the meeting about each individual brand because everything kind of has some stuff popping. And then if there's time, I'd love to do like some Q&A or some check-in and hear from some of you guys. I can't even believe that Laura's on. I thought you were on an airplane. Like, I don't even understand. Okay, but she's on. Okay. So that's the flow of things. So we're starting with recognition. And hopefully by now you have all seen that we have announced the Master Trainer of the Year, Angel Balance, and the Rookie of the Year, Mariah. So it's so exciting. I actually do want to hear from both of them. And I'm going to start with Angel. And I did prepare her for this question. So, Angel, if you could unmute yourself, I wanted to ask you, and I don't even know what your answer is going to be, but how has being a warrior impacted your life the most?
Ooh. Okay, I'm not gonna cry. Can y'all? I hope that I don't break up too much because I am in the car. But I was thinking about this really hard. You know, you've asked us this. You've asked us a question before about what warrior means to each of us. You've asked the master trainers that in the keynote with Barb, and I remember answering that one, and everyone having all these words coming out about how it was more than just fitness. It was more. It's I'm gonna cry. Thanks, Shayna. Thanks for your vote of confidence. And and I feel like that still rings true for me. There's one word that always feels like it resonates with warrior, and that is overcomer. A warrior is an overcomer. A warrior is someone who, no matter what the obstacles in life and in a real battle or a figurative one, that they figure it out. They figure out the how. They scrape through it if they have to by their fingernails, and they overcome, and they persevere. And when I think about in the fitness world, particularly at the point of time whenever each of us were making that decision, like how am I going to not, how am I going to avoid burnout? How am I going to keep this going? And I feel like because the nature of our business, like we are physical in our in teaching fitness, but then there's so much of this heart and soul that goes into it too. And it's a roller coaster, like Warrior Rhythm Playlist. It's a roller coaster. Sometimes we have highs and lows, some days where it feels like it's harder than others. Like, does this mean anything? Does it matter? Or this is really sucky right now, and how am I going to keep going? And so I just remember being very grateful for reconnecting with Ellen, discovering that she was doing something new through Warrior, wanting to get to learn something about it, and being just so surprised that and I'm going to say this because I think I know why every single lesson is our favorite. Every single new lesson is our favorite because there's a piece of Ellen's soul that is being deposited and like hand delivered to us, not just to see and put on a shelf, but to experience. And I feel like that very first Warrior Rhythm lesson that I felt a part of you in is what made me want to be a part of it, because it tapped into the initial joy and the initial spark that made me want to teach fitness, want to share how fitness had helped me become an overcomer in my own life in more ways than one. And so for me, the way that In Warrior has impacted me the most significantly is that it has tapped into an inner eternal part of me, into my inner joy, inner sense of purpose. And so I am thankful for Warrior giving me purpose once again. When at the beginning of 2020, I thought that my purpose was gone. So thank you. Thank you for that. When it comes time, anytime, this is like not something that she expected me to say, but I feel like I want to say it. Anytime that door is opened and swung open for you to walk through, to be a part of to be a part of something like this, to be considered a leader in something like this, you need to say yes for those very reasons, because there's purpose in it and there's an eternal joy that comes along with it, and it's worth the hard. So I love you and thank you.
Love you too, and thank you. I have noticed that some more amazing warriors have hopped on, and we have Germany now in the house. And but before I go that direction, I want to ask Mariah, our Rookie of the Year, the same question. So, Mariah, how has being a warrior impacted your life the most in this little year that you've been part of us?
That's such a hard act to follow. So that was amazing. But the funny part is that we didn't talk about this at all before starting, and we came up with the same conclusion. So I have a long story to get there, but it comes back to a renewed sense of purpose and the fact that I'm just so inspired again to live a life that is a example of movement and health and wellness to not only instructors that I get to bring up now, but also to their communities and the ripple effect that it creates. So um, for that, I just have to say thank you to Ellen and to Diva and all of the leadership team and warriors who have created such a beautiful format. I only do Warrior Rhythm so far, but I can't wait to do more and more. The playlists, the intention behind the playlists and the flow and the moves are just incredible to experience as a practitioner and to deliver and share with our communities. So the impact that Warrior has had on me is kind of twofold, one in my personal journey and then one as a fitness professional. And the first part of it is that I had always been a really extreme fitness person. I like to push my body to its limits. I'm very competitive with others, but more even myself. And I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease and PCOS in 2016. Actually, while I started getting sick while I was training for a 9-hour bike ride that I completed from coast to coast of Florida. So I realized that I wanted to prioritize health and fitness, but I also realized that my body maybe wouldn't need that that extreme level of fitness all the time. And so I still do crazy things, but I've been able to now give myself the mindfulness and the just flow and movement of it all and listen to my body and create a space where it's okay to not be okay and to not push to the limits every single day and still get a great workout in, which is the coolest part, but to kind of go on that journey and flow through the music. And I have to admit that I was not a yogi at all. I started incorporating yoga when I got diagnosed because that's what they say you should do with invisible illness. And I like I know I've learned to love it now, and sometimes the things you hate are the things you need the most. But for me, yoga was just too slow, and I couldn't get my mind in the right space for it. So finding Warrior was like a door opening to a space that I could love, a low impact, high strength, feeling strong, format, but listen to my body and take the regressions or the adaptations that I need that day. So that's kind of the impact on my personal life, but also my professional life. I've been a district manager for just over 5 years, and we all went through COVID. We all had the struggles in fitness, and manager life is hard because a lot of times it pulls you away from the things you got into fitness to do, right? It's a lot of admin, it's a lot of stress, it's a lot of HR, and things that you never thought you would have to deal with as a fitness pro. And so about a year ago, I was really struggling with like, do I go back to my old career? How do I stay in fitness? How do I love fitness? And then I found the Warrior community. And I'm just so thankful for it because I can have the support and the love and development that I need and still be in touch with my goals that I set years and years ago that I had let fall to the wayside while I got in the day to day and the grind of management. And so coming back to my vision board, getting to be a master trainer that was on there like 7 years ago is just incredible. And the reason I wanted to do it was actually thanks to Ellen's best friend in Pittsburgh, Cam. She was my first introduction to a master trainer as a new fitness professional. And I saw her up on stage and I was like, how do I do what you do? I want to do that on a big scale. I want to share my passion. I want to share what movement and fun can look like in fitness. And I stayed after. I was like, I told my husband was with me, and I was like, we have to wait. I don't care how long it takes her to come off the stage and get out here. I want to find out how she does what she does and how I can do that too. And 6 years later, here we are. So it has been an incredible, renewed sense of purpose in me to bring this community, because everyone needs this community, whether they know it yet or not. Everyone needs this. So to be able to share that with instructors and grow them into incredible fitness professionals is just a renewed sense of purpose in me. And when you manage, you forget that you are impacting lives because you're kind of out of the front part of it. But now I get to impact not only the lives of the instructors that I get to certify, but then their communities get impacted and the ripple effect grows. So that was a long story and journey to get back to Angel and I have the same thankful impact that Warrior has created in our lives.
That's beautiful. I didn't know that it was going to be the same thing. So the reason that Angel and Mariah were selected for those titles, just so you know, it was just metrics and statistics. It was based on how many trainings they sold in the last year. And I should mention that very close to Mariah was Karen Rorda, who is also brand new. She was very close. In fact, there was a while there, I was calling Diva. I'm like, it's going to be one of them. It's going to be one of them. It's going to be one of them. And very, very, very close behind Karen were Laurel and Monique. And all of you guys are on, and I want to get us kind of like going through the rest of our meeting. And I hadn't asked those ladies to speak, Karen and Laurel and Monique, but I might have an opportunity when I get into a call to action that I have for this community. I might have a chance to have you guys kind of speak up about what it's been like to be a master trainer. Now, they're not prepared, everybody. They didn't know I was going to talk about them. But Laurel, just so you guys know, is in Virginia. And Karen is in New Jersey, and Monique is in Germany. So she's on with her husband, it looks like. So it's awesome. All right. So remember, in the flow of the day, after we did some recognition, I wanted to talk about some things that impact all the brands. And then I want to get granular and talk about each brand. So in terms of things that impact all the brands in no particular order, I did launch a podcast. I hope you guys have all seen that. It's called Confessions of a Group X Instructor. And I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. I'm pretty proud of it. And I wanted to talk to you guys about like why I did it. And of course, I think that, thank you, girls. Of course, I think that it could be great for our brand. I'm no dummy. And yes, I think like that. Yes, I think like that. Like it could attract group fitness instructors that then learn about our formats and want to come to our family. Yes, my brain, of course, works like that. However, the real reason I'm doing this podcast is actually more altruistic. I'm kind of proud of myself. For years, I have been like on an online presence that's like, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me, buy my shake, sign up for my PiYo training, sign up for my Warrior Rhythm training. Like I'm always asking people, it feels like I'm always selling. I'm always selling. And I actually feel like the podcast is like, my point is I want to give something that is free education. I've been doing group fitness for 24 years now in 2024. So like I know a thing or two. And I feel like I'm at a place in my life and in my career where I can say things on this podcast and bring guests on that can really be of value to group fitness instructors. So it's my way of like giving back and trying to add free education that is valuable and or funny and or touching and or entertaining and or inspiring. I would really appreciate your support, which I already feel, of that podcast. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. If you haven't rated the show, please do, because that matters, like that affects it. And if, share it, like Lacey, I saw you just comment, like you've been sharing it in your stories, and it's just really helpful. So thank you. That's all about that. Except if you have like some like level of expertise, like Nicole Printon is on, I've already asked her to be a guest. I want her to be a guest because she's like the guru of gut health. I want to interview her because that, relates to group exercise, and a lot of things in fitness relate to health in general. It doesn't have to be super group exy. So if you have like something that you're like super knowledgeable about, or something like Mariah and maybe the invisible illness stuff, like if you have something that you think would be a real value, like let me know, and I would love to consider interviewing you. Okay, moving on. I'm going to retire the grassroots lessons for, don't worry, if you have them, you have them, don't worry. For Warrior Rhythm, that's like lessons 1-5. For Warrior Strength, which is, I think, lessons 1-3. For Warrior Revolution, which is lessons 1-17. Say goodbye, unless you already have them. I'll tell you why. Okay, that's it. So I'm not retiring any other, and I don't think I will ever retire any other back content. What I mean by retire it is I'm going to hide it so no one can buy it anymore. And there's only one reason. Those vaults, God bless those grassroots, I love them. They no longer reflect the quality of where we are today in any of those 3 formats that I mentioned. So let's start with Warrior Rhythm, the notes, for the love of God. I can't even read those notes. I like wanted to go teach like lesson 2. I'm like, I don't understand these notes. How could anyone understand these notes? And I mean, the choreography and everything is beautiful, but we've just come so far in our production, in our marketing, in our notes, in the whole thing. So I would hate for someone like a new instructor to be like, oh, I want the grassroots, and to be like it just doesn't accurately represent. Same thing with Warrior Strength. Remember, the timer I didn't even like put the names of the moves in the timer. I was like, upper body. Like, you remember what the moves are. It just doesn't reflect. And I didn't match the songs in Strength to the timer the way I take so much time to do now. And then in Warrior Revolution, which we'll talk about at the very end of this call, I was doing it completely differently than with this whole relaunch that I'm about to do that probably most of you don't really know about. But so those are going to be retired. Now, if you know someone in your life that's a diehard warrior and they know, love, and trust us, and they want to get their hands on a grassroots, whatever, vault, they can just let me know and I will sell it to them. We just need to let them know that it's that it's garbage. It's not garbage. It's beautiful. It's beautiful garbage. All right, moving on. The vaults are being retired. We have a podcast. Oh, so those are on the black market now. That's what I was going to say. Those are like on the black market. You can still get them. They're illegal. All right, now I'm going to talk about the Master Trainer Call. Yes, you totally can buy the vaults, and you can even buy the grassroots. They're just trashy. That's all. Okay. Master Trainer Call. I'm not going to spend too much time right now today talking about what it takes to be a master trainer. I'm barely going to touch on it because A, I've done that before probably every single year. B, I'm going to do that again in a separate thing. I'll just record my own thing about it and I'll put it in the group very specifically about what I'm looking for and what it takes. But in terms of like the broad sweeps, this is what our company and our brands need the most. We have phenomenal programs. Our formats are like, I'm so proud of our brands. Our community is the best community I have ever seen in group fitness. So we're like, those are slam dunks for us. Where we need growth, desperately need growth, is in leaders, master trainers specifically. And so I want to like quadruple our master trainer team this year. I don't know if I'll be able to, but that's my lofty goal. I would like to have master trainers, more than one, in every state. Now let me backpedal and say that my standards are really high. and we still are a small team. So one of the things that I know the master trainers who are on here today can attest to is that I do help with upskilling you. And I feel like, I hope all the master trainers on here would say, at least if they've been working with me for long or closely, that becoming a master trainer has allowed them to level up in the different areas as a leader. So you don't have to come in like this, like, insane rock star. The goal is that we get you there together. Okay. So that being said, what I don't want is to waste your time or mine. And I've done a lot of that. I've done a lot of, like, sorry, my cat like just keeps getting in my lap like every second. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. And so I want to be better about vetting you in this process. And so I don't just take you on because I like you and you move well and you're fun and you post in our group and you make reels. Like I need more substance than that. And I need to make sure that you have the right skill set and the right, like, intestinal fortitude. Like Angel said, it's like so fulfilling. I promise, being a master trainer is the most fulfilling calling I've ever, like, it's like, imagine the feeling of you teaching and the impact you have in your community as an instructor. Imagine that times 1,000. Like, to have impact that is beyond the four walls of your studio, beyond your community, but you're the one that's training the ones that go out into their communities, into their four walls, so the ripple effect and the magnitude is 10x when you're a master trainer. And so is the joy. I promise. It's a paycheck to your heart. I mean, and it is also a paycheck. I mean, Karen, like, you guys know, like, if you have a big train, you're having $800,000 days. You get paid $100 per registrant, and my goal is that you're having trainings that have 8 to 10 to 12 people, and some of you are hitting that and starting to hit that, and it's a fun, fulfilling day, and it's, you walk out with $1,000, but it's not for everybody, and it tends to attract the role people that want the title. And I don't want that. I actually want people that don't care about titles. But it tends to attract, like, oh, I want this master trainer title, and oh, that would be fun. But maybe they don't have, like, the right skill set. So really quickly, what I'm looking for is, you have to be in love with Warrior. You have to be like a member, and you have to be teaching classes that are successful. Like that, of course, like, then without that piece, there's no authenticity or integrity to your leadership. If you don't love it, you don't buy into it, you don't support it, and you don't teach it effectively, then you can't be an effective master trainer. Don't waste your own time. Don't waste my time. But if you do, you love it, you teach it, you have a class of 8 consistent people. Because I know we're like pandemic numbers still. Like, I know Group X hasn't come back to like necessarily 30 people classes everywhere. But you have, like, you teach decent sized classes, and you move well, and you take feedback well, because just ask my team. Like, I'm gonna give you feedback because I love you and I want to help you. So you take feedback really well. My best master trainers, they just do. They say thank you for the feedback, and they work on it. You're professional. You care about actually the brand's growing. Like, you want to be a piece of our success in this industry. We're trying to make a major mark. Like, we really truly are trying to be the next, like, Les Mills, Mosa, Zumba, name, like, common group fitness name, and that you actually want to feel some, like, ownership that you were a part in making that happen. Because I'm telling you, it is the master trainers that are making that happen. It's not me. It's the people that are getting people certified. So basically, I'm opening applications. I need strong leaders, people that are showing up. Like, you see them. They're the ones in the Facebook group that watch the video housekeeping videos, and they're helping and they're answering questions and they're welcoming the new people, and you see their name, you see them show up in the, because they want to be leaders in our community. That's kind of like the people I'm looking for. So if you feel like that's you and you have questions, let me know. Here's where we need master trainers. Are you ready? Thank you, Bess, for my list. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Georgia, Hawaii, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas. We are small, guys. We got to grow. Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New York, New Hampshire, New Mexico, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Utah, Vermont, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. We are tiny, you guys, and we are not going to make it if we don't grow. And I need people that have the courage to try to lead trainings. I will help you. I hold your hand through everything. Just ask Jackie, who just led a training. She's nodding. I will hold your hand through everything you don't know how to do. Everything you don't know how to do about leading a training, I teach you how to do. And I make sure you're comfortable and I help you do it. Right, Laurel? Each step, every piece. You don't show up to a training. I mean, you'll be nervous, but you don't show up unequipped. We have a whole boot camp. All right, let's move on. Music. Angel had made these wonderful tiles for me in all the groups by Kelly, where let me check our time. Okay, here we go. We're doing perfectly fine. Okay. All right, hold on. We're doing fine. We're back on track. So actually, do any of you, maybe new master trainers like, Laurel, Karen, Jackie, Monique, do you guys want to speak to just briefly the support, like how it is, like how much support you have? And Laurel, do you want to talk, anyone, about like just briefly, like as a new master trainer, how has it been for you?
Sure. Good afternoon, everybody, and happy Saturday and happy kickoff Zoom. So, I did my first instructor certification in November. I had so much assistance from not only Ellen, but Bess, um, um, some of the other master trainers. I mean, they were inboxing me, and the support was phenomenal. It was a pleasure. I mean, I was excited. It was a pleasure. There were 7 in my class. I'm excited. Um, I knew from the moment I stepped into my first Warrior Rhythm class with only 10 minutes left in the class, I was like, I've got to teach this. I never thought I would lead it, but I knew I wanted to be an instructor. And so that's the same excitement as a master trainer that I want to bring to other new instructors. That the moment they take that first class and finish it, there's something about it that says, I want to share this. It's almost like going out to a fine restaurant where the meal is so good. It's so good. You're like, oh my God, that was so good. I can't wait to go back to that restaurant. So that's how I felt. But it was a very successful day for me. Like you said, Ellen, financially, very successful for me, professionally as well. The master class where you have other people who aren't certifying, but they just come for the class. Great energy as well in that. So it's been a pure delight, and I look forward to scheduling my next one first quarter, which should be February or March.
Sweet. Awesome. Anyone else on that?
I'd love to jump in, Ellen, just to
Yeah.
say the master trainer's role gave me a lot of confidence. And if you know me, I'm already pretty darn confident, but this idea that Ellen trusts me to bring Warrior Rhythm and spread it to the wonderful people of New Jersey and whoever else, it dribbles out from there. But really a vote of confidence to say, I believe in you and I trust in you, and you're going to be very well prepared, and I'm available for all your questions. But in the meantime, go forth and spread that joy and make that magic. And there's nothing like that.
Thank you. Okay, we can keep going. All right, next, Karen's masterclass was freaking awesome. I know you guys, I love you, how you support each other. And I think Amber Hogg went to Laurel, your first event too, didn't she? Or vice versa. No, maybe you went to hers. Anyway, okay. The next big all brand announcement, are you ready? Is the conference circuit. Okay. I beat this point home ad nauseum. So just fill out that survey if you never have. There's no other way I can actually communicate with you directly about your opportunities at a conference. And if you're a master trainer and you don't fill it out, like you might miss the opportunity, you will miss the opportunity to be on stage. Cause there's specific per city, per conference things that happen, like a team dinner where I ask you to wear a certain thing. So we like all look the same. Like, and if you're not on that email list, like you might show up in pink pants and I might make you take them off in the street or something. Nicole's like, yeah, it's true. I might, you might not wear the right shoes. I might get upset. No, but we do a team dinner. You have an opportunity to do some photos. Like we have done these Camp Rockstar things. Like we do things that we think are fun and special as a company and as a brand that aren't normal. But I don't have a way of knowing who wants to I don't have a way unless you fill out that survey. It's the only way. And I don't care if you fill it out about a city and then you decide you're not coming. I don't care. You just tell me you're not coming and I delete you so you stop getting emails about that event. But I really just don't know. And so anyway, it's just, I think probably everyone on here has filled it out. So, but if you're watching the replay, and you're new to our formats and you've never heard me ever talk about this conference survey, lucky you, because I talk about it like every 2 months. But you fill out the survey. It takes you 40 seconds to do that. And then whatever event you said you were interested in maybe going to, you'll get like email communication about when it is and if there's a coupon that I hear about or, whatever. Okay. Now, here's what's happening. That people are like, where's the tour shirt this year? Well, I can't figure out where we're going on the tour and it keeps changing. So we just added Florida. That's my big bomb drop. We're going to Florida. Happy we're going to Florida. We're going to Florida. Mania.
Disney.
What?
We're going to Disney. Because we're going to be in Orlando.
Okay, we are.
We could go to Epcot. All right, I'm sorry. I'm a Disney person. All right, focus. Go ahead, boss.
Okay. We're going to Florida. So we've added that. So we're going to DC next month. We have like 30 people on that list saying they want to go. That doesn't mean they're all going, but we have about 30 people. I know. We have Ursa, I haven't actually committed to yet, and that's not really a conference tour, but I think there's some California girls, Shayna, there's some Cali girls like Laura and Sasha and Mariah and Shayna and Reagan that might want to come do the whole event with me because we did have a lot of fun last year, but it's not like a normal conference. Don't fly on a plane for it. It's like all owner operator, like standing at a booth all day doing demos and stuff like that. But I don't know if I'm doing that. So it's undecided. I've got to commit. San Francisco's in March. That is such a fun event. We have a good group of like PNW, Pacific Northwest, California Warriors. So that's a great conference for us. Florida, we've never been to. So I'm hoping, Ebby, we get some Flow girls. IDEA is the Mecca, it's the Mecca. I just met with them yesterday, and they're doing some amazing things to bring more people in this year. DCAC is like we are just in love with Reston in August. We love it there. Canada, Dallas is enormous. Hello, Unita, it's enormous. Kelly, all you girls. And then Nashville, I don't know if they're having their conference again. It's like a baby. It's a baby trying to stand up and wobble on its legs, but there's like 40 of you that want to go to Nashville. I just don't know if there is going to be a Nashville FitCon. So there's no shirts because I don't know what we're doing. I don't know where we're going. At some point, we'll figure it all out and do shirts. Okay, that's all I want to say is we're adding Florida is really all I wanted to say. We're adding Florida and don't bank on Nashville. Okay? All right. Now, moving on. Fit Pro Travel. You guys saw that me and Diva just lived our best lives in the entire world. All right, more on that to come. This is what you need to know. You need to listen to my podcast that launches on Monday because I spill the whole story all the way down to the gory details of I didn't have appropriate clothing to wear for any of the nightlife. I had no heels, nothing. I was underdressed. I didn't know that at a resort you go out at night and have fun. I didn't know.
She had on a church dress.
Did I look like I was going to church every day? She was like, let's go out to the whatever, belly dance party. And I'm like, okay. I just don't, I have like my swimsuit and my cover ups, gym clothes and church clothes. That's it. Okay. So anyway, no, the Fit Bro Travel podcast actually explains everything you guys need to know to go about setting one up. And then I would encourage you to like look into it, set up a profile. And then I would encourage you to pause because I'm hoping to have some bigger announcements about that that will be more meaningful. So you guys maybe hold the phones, but if you have questions, like you really were chomping at the bit to try one and right now, and you can't wait and you want to do it after you hear that podcast, just reach out to me and just talk to me about specifically how you would go about, how you might go about it at this point with our formats. Okay. Because anyway, that's all I can say right now. All right. Now, let's get brand specific. How are we? We're doing fine on time. We're actually 12:44 and my notes say 12:45 for this topic. I want to talk about each of the brands uniquely here for a second. Warrior Rhythm. And I'm sorry I'm being such a big tease about things because I was just a big tease about Fit Pro Travel, but now I'm going to be a big tease again. There's going to be an announcement about Warrior Rhythm, the format, that I'm going to wait, even though I don't want to. I'm going to wait till the end of this month. And then I'm going to tell the Warrior world about what in the world is happening with Warrior Rhythm. Because, can I spoil it a little bit? You guys are like, yes.
You're gonna tell them. You're not gonna make it to the end of the month. I know you. You're not. You're
Here's
not.
the reason I don't want them to know, Diva, because they
Why?
just got come on, they just got the most beautiful lesson ever, lesson 18. They just got Wanda votes. They just got the new one. I want you guys to I want you to just start falling in love with lesson 18. Maybe that's already happening. I want you teaching 18, not getting distracted about this next thing I'm going to say. I want you to just love 18. Give 18, like Amber, they just came out and they just filmed this beautiful lesson. I want that deserves the forefront of your attention right now. But then but then I can't help it. I'm going to kind of tell you a little bit. I'm going to change the sequencing. And I promise you, I know you think Warrior Rhythm is the most amazing roller coaster ever. You just wait. It's about to become, it is, I have zero question that it is the most meaningful upgrade to that. It didn't even need an upgrade. Like, it's already beautiful. But what I'm going to do with the sequencing is going to make it a better format. Like, I have no question. And part of you, Heather Shields, yes, am I right? She knows she's been, Bess, am I right? Who else? Angel, am I right? Like, who else has been testing it? Amber, it is like, it's just going to be better. I'm sorry. Warrior Rhythm is actually going to get better. Laurel, that restaurant that you went to that you want to go back to just got better. Lesson 19 is going to have a different sequencing. It's better physiologically. It's better psychologically. It's just ridiculous. Okay, we'll come back to that at the end of the month. I just start teaching lesson 18, okay? And then we'll talk about it. And it won't affect any of your other lessons. You can keep doing those as is. All right, ready? That's it about Warrior Rhythm. Warrior Strength. All I want to say about Warrior Strength is, honestly, I know you would think I have an incredible bias because it's my company, but like, bias aside, okay, there is literally like no reason for anyone to not teach Warrior Strength. It is the simplest format I've ever taught in my life. It's easier than brushing my teeth in the morning. Like, it is like, it's just so easy. Shayna, right? I mean, it's just so simple and easy and fun, and it doesn't have to be hard on your body because it's very coachable. You don't have to have a high level of skill, to be really honest with you. You don't have to have a high level of skill to teach it. I mean, you need to be able to move well and say the names of moves. That's about it. Like, you need to know how to squat and stuff like that. You need to know how to like align yourself in a plank, but it's like, it's as easy as it gets, and it's so good. And like, there's it's the meat and potato. It often is the best. It often is our best, like received format, like at a conference. And it's because we have these niche, like yoga is like nichey, and kickboxing is like nichey, and cycle is like a niche, but like every single body in the world knows that they need a prescription of weights, weightlifting, strength training. Like everyone, whether they like to lift or not, everyone knows they need to be lifting weights, and everyone knows they need cardio. Like everyone has to be incorporating those modalities into their fitness. I like to say like they're the meat and potatoes, or they're like in your wardrobe, they're like your favorite pair of sweats. Like everyone needs them. And so if you're not teaching warrior strength, please sign up for one of our virtuals and start teaching it. It requires 0 brain cells. Then warrior kids, it's true, Jenny. Yeah, they're your favorite black leggings. That's right, Karen. It's like everyone has a favorite pair of black leggings. That's it. That's how you should feel about teaching warrior strength. It's just like, it's the staple. And then there's the fun ones that you can fall deeper in love with. Like, I really do think you can fall deeper in love with the nichier ones. They're nichey. They're more like unique and you and your taste and your style, and like they're more specific. So you probably will fall deeper in love with a rhythm or a combat or a revolution. But like the basics it's the basics. It's like getting your general studies out of the way when you're in college, and then doing figure drawing. Okay, sorry. I'd say that because like when I enrolled in college, all I did is like figure drawing classes and sculpture and oil painting, and like I'm like, but I don't want to do math and science and stuff like that. Anyway, that's the warrior strength. All right. Let me see if I can find my video from Laura to talk to you about warrior kids. Actually, if it takes me a while, I'll just throw it to Diva first. Let me see where I was having trouble with her video because, oops. Sorry.
Is that Toots on your lap?
Yeah, she won't leave me alone.
Toots! She is the best cat ever, yo. She's like a dog.
She is a dog. Oh boy. All right. This is really going to be, I'm going to give it one more try for our video with Laura. All right, you guys, if you see my desktop, do not judge me, okay? Just don't judge me if you see my desktop and how disorganized it is. I would have cleaned it if I knew that it was going to show up. Hopefully it won't show up, right? I don't think it's going to show up. Good. Oh, it showed up. Did it show up? No, you just see Laura, right? Okay, can you hear Laura?
Oh, I am so missing you guys.
Can you
right
hear
now.
her?
I'm having serious FOMO, like 15 hours in advance. I'm here in Virginia and won't be able to join. So I wanted to send this message just to say thank you. Thank you, instructors. Thank you for being here, for taking time out of your day to show up and to just bring your own magic to the format. So I am Laura Castel de Oro Cameron, and I'm your format lead for Warrior Kids. And we're so excited that last year, at the end of last year, we saw a little rise in enrollment in Warrior Kids, and cannot wait for this year to see what happens, because it really does make sense. If you're a warrior strength instructor, can I imagine how many hands are going up? If you're a warrior instructor, can you raise your hand for Ellen and the rest of the group to show who's teaching strength? If you're teaching strength, now how many of you are actually teaching kids? I can't wait to watch the replay, just FYI. So I'm just wondering, I mean, it's a really simple, easy add-on for the price of a cup of coffee, right? Every month, to have this in your little tool chest, because we all teach students, right? And they probably have kids. They probably have children. You could do, or grandchildren, because some of us teach an older crowd. So maybe their grandchildren are the ones that they would bring. So community events with your own students that you already have would be something that's really fun. And I cannot tell you how exciting it is to see the adults watch their kids move and run around and have fun. And the smiles are endless. It's just so exciting and fun to do. And there's so many ways that you could take Warrior Kids out into the community. You could do a neighborhood canvas and start a little mini boot camp for kids, and do a Warrior Kids class in the park or in your neighborhood, in your cul-de-sac, wherever you're living, wherever you have space for them to run around and have fun. And you could contact your local schools, your local churches. You could, and I'm going to revisit this and show you a better way to do this, because a couple years ago we started doing the events like at Fabletics and Athleta, and we want to be smarter about this. If we're going to do these outreaches and community classes, our goal is always to grow the brand, to find new instructors, not just to get them to work out. We do want to add that and make that a way for that's a vehicle for us to reach the people we need to reach. So if you're going to do these kind of classes, and this is kind of, I think Ellen calls this a cul-de-sac, right? It's not a tangent, it's a cul-de-sac. I'm going to bring you back around. If you're going to do these kind of classes at Fabletics or Athleta, you need to really work on marketing to instructors. You need to make it a master class for instructors, and make sure that you have the instructors, and do an instructor mommy and me, or an instructor grandma, or neighborhood kids, or something like that, where you can get potential instructors who are already at gyms, who can help plant these classes. So that was really the goal in reaching out to Fabletics and all of these classes, not just to do community classes so that the public can come, because that's great, but we need instructors. So if you're going to do these things, like I said, just make it a huge push to find instructors, sending letters, flyers to your local gyms to invite them to come, and to really stress the importance of our children and their health and the future, and getting them to do something that is fun. And so if you're already teaching Warrior Strength, if you're not even sure what kids is, we're basically modifying Cardio Countdown to be kid friendly. And it's simple and it's easy. A lot of the moves you're already doing, we just change the names and we get down at their level, and we run around the room with them, and we laugh and we smile, and you leave after that half hour just flying high. So I wanted to just encourage you, if you are a Warrior Strength instructor, to come on in. The water's warm and we would love to have you. So thank you again for the growth that we had last year, and I'm so excited about this year. If you have any questions or any suggestions, I would love to hear from you, and I'd love to hear your best practices, what you're doing in your kid classes, or the ideas that you have. So thank you, and again, I'm missing you. So hello from 35,000 feet over New Jersey right now while you're watching this. I'm heading home, but I've got you all with me here, and I can't wait to see you soon. So thank you, Ellen, for this opportunity, and for just being an amazing leader, and someone just always showing us walking the walk and talking the talk. You're doing it all, and I'm just so grateful. So love you guys.
Okay, so that's a little bit about Warrior Kids from our wonderful format lead, Laura, who actually did hop on for a second here. Okay, so I would like to throw things over to my Instagram husband and the co-creator of Warrior Combat, who we have heard all together not enough from today. Diva, what do they need to know, or what do you want to tell them about combat?
All right. I'll say this first. I want to say to all the combat instructors, thank you for embracing the format because when Ellen and I, combat just had a birthday. Combat is one. So when we embarked on the journey, we never thought, I'll be honest, I didn't know what it was going to be. I knew nothing about this. I wanted to teach boxing. I wanted to teach other people fun ways to box. And, you know, Ellen helped me bring this to life and make it into like this really cool ass fitness fusion that I just love. I love it. I love it. I love teaching it. I love showing people how dope it is, how different it is, and how it's kind of cool because I noticed there's not just like women in combat classes, which says a lot about the format. It means it's speaking to men and women, which is really dope. The other thing is we made some changes to combat this year, as some of you know. Before we had like a bunch of combinations and a bunch of hit sections, and now we kind of like, it's been a year of trial and error for us. And so now the combinations you do in the front and fight club, you now do in the back and fight night. So we just really streamlined the learning process, made it easier, more digestible for everybody. So it's easier for you as an instructor to learn the format. And it's easier for your students to like rock out because they don't have to learn new shit when they get to the back. They're like, boom, we did this, we got it, and they feel good. And you know, the hit sections and the strength is just, this year was a lot of leveling up for us. Ellen and I are still married, so that's good because we definitely had hella fights. And I thought we were gonna break up like 3 times trying to create this format. So this is a win-win for us. We're still here. But I just seriously thank you guys for supporting combat, and I love y'all. And y'all don't tag me enough. Y'all don't tag me enough in combat shit. Tag Diva Richards Box Fit so I can post it. Y'all do not tag me enough in shit. And I know y'all teaching. I want to see it. All right? All right, I'm done talking. I love y'all.
Angel's like, I tag you. I saw her. She's like, me.
Yo, Angel is the tagging queen.
Oh no, I love it.
But don't stop, Angel. I love you. Keep it going, baby. Don't stop.
I want to talk about combat too and just echo those sentiments. It has been our steepest and best learning curve ever. It took me longer to level up Warrior Rhythm. It took me longer to get in the it took me to lesson 7 before I really got into a groove with Warrior Strength. And then we really got cracking around lesson 10, 11, 12, 34. Those are so we really got into our who we are. And it took me a while with rhythm too, for us to figure it out. And I really know for a fact by lesson 4, you guys, by lesson 4, this whole thing that she just explained where the front half mirrors the back half in the combos, the conditioning, the lift, it just is so much easier to learn. It's so much easier for them to feel good and competent. So it's a huge level up. And no, we never did almost break up, you guys. Don't worry, your parents are fine. Our marriage is fine. It really is. We just, every time we create a lesson together, we just clash. We just are different, which is good. I would hate working with me.
I would hate working with me.
I'm way too uptight, and she's laid back, so we clash, but it's good. I could not work with someone like me. Okay. Anyway, don't worry. The marriage is solid. The brand is better than ever. I did want to say that I didn't even tell you this, Diva, but I've started you know how we say, you know how I love alliteration. And so we have combos, conditioning, core, and lift. I've just started calling that combos, conditioning, and core. Yes, we always pick up dumbbells. Yes, we always lift for that section, but it breaks the perfect alliteration to say core and lift. So I'm fine with us, as we move forward, Bess, and I might change this in all the materials, but basically just calling them the 3 C's: combos, conditioning, core. and we will know as instructors, and they will learn and know as participants that core, you always grab weights for the core section. That's all. I don't think I had anything else to say about combat. Let's talk about Warrior Revolution to kind of end this call out, and then we'll take a group picture. I'll make some of you turn your cameras on. Diva's like, bye. I'm turning my camera off. I'm done talking about combat.
I got a switch. It's messing up. I got 3 cameras going, so the battery died in the big camera. So I'm on the crappy camera now.
Okay. So I sort of, I don't know, failed is kind of like maybe a harsh word, but it's probably the best word at launching like Warrior Revolution initially. I didn't really do it well. That's the short version of a very long story. I didn't launch it really ever. And I certainly, what I did do was not well. And there was always this intention of maybe doing it big. And then it was like a bandwidth thing. Like I don't have a bandwidth for it. And, there was just, and like I've literally, truthfully, never, ever, 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 ever actually promoted it ever, because I knew it wasn't itself yet. And so, but yet our community kind of knows, and we have some members, like talk about like the black market. We've got like these like 30 or 20 Warrior Revolution members that are teaching it. Some of you are on here, Shayna, Angel. I don't know who else on here right now is teaching it. Amber Hogg, maybe. Yeah. And also I had like sort of I don't know if you heard my podcast on the Beat on Cycle, but I've been having like a personal identity crisis for the last couple years on like who I even am as a cycle instructor, because I was like raised a certain way. It's kind of like just like so many other things in my life. I was like raised to believe a certain thing about cycle. And I've been kind of at war with some of those beliefs and not sure what I want to be and who I want to be. And there's things I do and don't like about the parties on the bike. And I just needed to figure out like, where do I stand with all of that? And I can finally say that I have figured out who I am and who I want to be right now as a cycle instructor, and that I do want to have a course, and that I do want to have a certification. I wasn't even sure about that. And so to just sort of bring you up to speed, Laura, Bess, and Angel, and kind of Heather Shields, she is willing, but like, anyway, have been helping me right now complete the course, the self-study, okay, for Warrior Revolution. I've applied for the trademark. I'm basically going to do exactly what I did with Warrior Rhythm, then Warrior Strength, then Warrior Combat, which is release the self-study at $99. Sound familiar? It's the 4th time we've done this. Release a self-study that is not accredited. Sound familiar? Because I'm working on getting accreditation. Like, it's the same process if you've been with me. So you can get certified, trained, I should say. We actually don't use the word certified until there's actually like CECs, because accreditation and certificate, like that, those words relate. So you can get trained on the self-study for $99 very soon. Like, I hope I can finish it today, but those girls have given me a lot of edits. They're my editors and proofreaders, and make sure everything flows and makes sense. And they gave me a lot of homework. So I'm hoping to finish it today, but this course is about to be released, and you'll actually hear me for the first time ever actually announce it to the world as soon as I do this. It will be the beta test at $99. Once we get our CECs, and I've already got a private message from ACE that they're super excited about what I'm doing, that there's not going to be a problem getting it accredited. Then those of you that were in on the beta test will get those CECs. You'll just get them after you've done the course. Like after it receives its CECs, it can take up to 2 months sometimes. And then this will sound familiar. Once it has accreditation, the price goes up to $249, which we sell at $199 with a coupon. So then your price goes up $100 to $199, and then people can go through the self-study. Then eventually, we hope to do live trainings with it. It'll be a little trickier because, not trickier is not the right word. We can't do Zoom trainings. People don't have bikes at home really. Like, we can't really do Zoom trainings. So I kind of want to make sure I have a bigger master trainer team and some cycle. Like, I need cycle master trainers. I will need Warrior Revolution master trainers before I create it into a live, that's a different accreditation. So before I do that level of accreditation, I need to have a team of Warrior Revolution instructors that want to be master trainers and presenters. Otherwise, it's like not worth my money, because I don't want to be the only master trainer presenting the format. So, but the self-study is a for sure. And then the live training, we'll see how well it's received by our community and who wants to step up and lead that brand. And I guess really that's everything I wanted to say, other than it is going to be sort of like, it's like 75 to 85% party on a bike, but it's not full blown. It's not fully like, there's certain things that some of those boutique studios that do that I'm not going to be doing. And there's a whole new vocabulary. It's unique. There's a whole new vocabulary with moves that I've created on the handlebars and with the bikes that I've named. We've given our own language to. So there's sections, there's prepare, there's push, there's peak, there's pedal. So yeah, it's safe and fun. But we are going to be like patterning. When you get to a song called Party, it means there's going to be combinations that you're doing with your arms on the handlebars and stuff like that for the party song. And then there might be like Peak, where it's just kind of your basic hill climb. So I think it's kind of the best of both worlds. That's all. And are we 75 minutes in? 70 minutes in. That's kind of where I thought we would land. So we have 5 minutes to do any Q&A or take any pictures, or anyone have any comments? Oh, thank you, Jason, for saying that. That was actually on my list. I think I just saw, where'd that comment even go about the vault? All right, so here, I have to manually enter all the vault stuff. And I was doing it at it's very tedious and very unsexy. And it's literally just like, I have I have a spreadsheet of everybody's name who's a Warrior Strength or whatever member. And I have to manually add the vault to you. And then take a highlighter and highlight your name off the list. And I went through every single one of you. But as I was going like super fast, at one point I noticed that Teachable was like slower than me. It was taking slower than me to say the 2023 Warrior Strength Vault has been added to Jason Thibodeau. Like, I noticed at one point that sometimes I was faster than it was. So if for some reason, check and make sure you have all the content you need. If you're missing a vault from 2023, please don't put, if you can help it, please don't put customer service like problems in the Facebook group. It's okay if you do. I just would rather not to, because those are like dumpster fires, and then it doesn't necessarily reflect well. I would actually rather you email me or even text me than put a problem in the group. So if you don't have a vault, just send me an email or a text if you happen to have my cell phone number, and I can add it like that. I'll just check and make sure that you are a paying member first. And if you are, I'll add the vault. I think it did affect probably a dozen of you. So let me know. Anything else? That goes for rhythm too. Check, make sure you have 2023. Anything else? Are we ready? You guys, Monique, you didn't say a single thing. What time is it in Germany right now?
It's 10 o'clock.
Oh,
Yeah, it's in the evening. And yes, I'm sorry for my English. That's the first what I have to say. In German, I could talk and talk and talk, and English is, yes, I'm working on my skills in English, and my husband too. Here's my husband.
I know. You guys
Yeah.
are great. Your English is wonderful. I don't know what you mean. It's great.
I deleted all my first messages to you, and sometimes it's the 10th versions of our Instagram message. Yes, Yes, I want to say I love the community. I love to be a part of that community. You receive so much feedback. It's amazing. It's amazing. Yes, that's what I want to say.
Yeah,
Oh,
I wanted to
Marie.
say something about I wanted to brag on Monique. To the whole community. She is alone. Like, I mean, her and her husband and the few that they've trained, she's doing this alone. And she's the only international master trainer that presents in another language. So she's taking our content, but presenting it in German. And it's phenomenal. And she does never like, sometimes people say, like, oh, it's hard. And it is, it is, whatever. But like, oh, it's hard finding people. It's hard booking trainings. It's hard. People don't necessarily know what warrior is. She's never said that. And she's alone in a new country. She's never said, oh, it's hard to find it's hard. She doesn't. She just does it in another language and was very close to being rookie of the year. So big props to you. That's her husband. Have you guys seen the Instagram, the apparel in Germany? Have you guys seen that little account? That's theirs. So they of
Yes.
course had permission to do that. And it's not easy for me to sell merchandise over there. So yeah. All right. Are we going to take
Question.
pictures? Yes. Question. Yes.
So we are allowed to sell warrior apparel in different states as long as we have permission? Like, how does that work?
No, you're allowed to make apparel. If you want to make something for you, like your own cool hoodie or something like that, you can get our logo and make it for you, the instructor, but you're not allowed to sell it. Because I have a store. Like, we have a store in the United States. It's just hard for me to ship internationally.
I gotcha.
So, but you can make stuff. I think some of you have done that, and that's totally okay. Like Lauren has made hats and stuff like that, but internationally it's harder. So they're trying to really, they're committed. They're committed to growing these brands in Germany. And so part of that is having merchandise. So I gave them extra permission.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I don't know how to do a photo. Okay, ready? I guess basically I'm going to have to do a couple because we're on 2 screens. So wait, don't smile yet. Let me get the screenshot thing ready. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, that was screen 1. Hold on. Okay, so then there's a couple people on the second screen that don't have their cameras on. So, okay, ready? All right, Debbie Sullivan, hold, pause, stop walking. Okay, ready? Okay. All right, I did those pictures and we're at 75 minutes. Anyone else? Any other Diva? Anything in closing?
No, I love you guys. Shout out to my guy, Jason Thibodeau. What's up, Jay? I see all your tags, bro. And shout out to the combat crew in Germany. I love you guys. Y'all doing good shit. I see it. Y'all doing good shit. All right, I'm done talking.
Larissa, hi. Melissa, hi. Jackie, how'd your training go today with your newbies?
We had an amazing day. We're here at Diva Studio. And this is Katan and Catherine, our new Strength Squad members.
Woo, woo, woo,
Nice.
Awesome. You guys, Jackie has been also a new master trainer that came on making some noise, making some waves for us. Yeah. We got our Sadie girl on here. Lisa's on. Mary's on. Mary, we'll see you in San Francisco. Michelle, who's like team mom, is on. She's team mom. She's the mom of the Warriors. All right, you guys. Well, with that, let's have an amazing 2024. And thank you for being here today. Okay. Bye, guys. I love you so much. So grateful. Bye.
Have a great rest of your day, everybody.
You too.